Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Contaminator! Contaminator! Concussinator! Man assassinator! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Again, got straight to your brain! Straight to your full crack! You get down to straight to your brain! Straight to your full crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! 5-star broad blast! You can't stop me! 5-star broad blast! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the yin and the yang. The balance of power that's in. You can't stop the yin and the yang. The balance of power that's in. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. I will levitate. Flip, kick you in the yell. I will decimate. You can prepare for. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show!
Happy RVD Radio Day, everybody. Bam! We've been knocking these out consistently, haven't we, lately? Well, at least we got 2 in a row. That's something. That's a start. That's a record. We're rolling. We're having fun with it. More people are listening to it. And with the Twitter addiction that I've gotten recently, I'm a lot more in contact with the feedback directly from the fans. So that kind of inspires me more. As does the possibility of moving this, which I will talk to you soon about that, Nikki Starr. But first, I want to say happy fucking October the 24th, 2012, yo. 10-24-12. It's never, ever, ever, ever happened. Ever before. This is the first time, so I'm excited. And if you're not, you should be. Especially if you don't have much else you can think about to be excited about. Be excited that you're here. Somebody that's not here. I think I might have probably mentioned this on the last radio show. I don't know. But, you know, sometimes I like to start out talking about who was here with us before, who wasn't here last, or who's not here now. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but Mike Graham, very famous name in pro wrestling. He was my boss in WCW. He was the road agent. The main boss that was running everything was Ole Anderson. When I left, it was, the fuck's his name? Jeez, I'm blanking on the guy's name. All right, I'll come back to that. Bill Watts. I came right back to it. he hired me in 92, and then in 93, about 5 months later, I ended up quitting and told my gram, hey, thanks, dude, I'm out of here. Anyway, reconnected with him recently, did his radio show a couple weeks ago in Tampa. Super high-spirited guy, you know, inspirational in that way. He was like 62 or something, shot himself in the head. I have no idea what that's about, but I guess his son and his dad also have killed themselves, so now they're going down in history like the Von Erichs as a really tragic family. And it's still recent news. That's why I bring it up, because I would have thought he would have been here today. Maybe not listening to our show, but I would have had him on eventually. That would have been awesome to hear his take. And I know one of the first things that we're going to do is look at brain damage, because that's what you do nowadays. We're learning about the long-term effects of concussions, stuff that we didn't look at before. So that's our subject today. And with the family going out the same way in Mike Graham's situation, I would think that's off the regular pattern. But there is a study that a good friend of mine, Mr. Chris Nowinski, who has been on RVD TV and RVD Radio in the past, he's going to join us later on and tell us what's really going on when we whack our head and get loopy. But in the meantime, until he comes on and tells us how serious it is, we can have some fun talking about how fun it is. And it's not fun, but sometimes it's funny. You know what I mean? Watching somebody eat shit, especially if they knock themselves out. You can't help but laugh if you see somebody working a pair of nunchucks and they crack themselves in the head. Dude, you're supposed to laugh at that. God wants you to laugh at that. That's funny, especially if he's knocked out. That makes it even funnier. But it's actually like your brain bouncing around in your skull, getting bruised, causing that damage. And it's apparently a pretty serious thing as concerns me. That's why I wanted to talk about it, share some stories with some other people who can relate personally, or people that they know. I'm involved in a very high-impact profession, as are many of my guests. So we're going to talk about that shit, yo. Not a whole lot to plug since we just did this show last week, you know. If you can't get enough RVD Radio and you don't know about this, I'm doing little audio blogs just about every day. On my homepage at robvandam.com, you can see at the bottom, with all the other options, you can also see the iPadio motherfuckers audio blogs, and they're fun. I leave them on my phone when I'm driving or when I'm on the road or whatever, and they can be any length of time. I can talk about whatever I want, just like RVD Radio, but I got to look into more of like recording phone conversations and stuff on those, because they're hilarious. And when me and Sabu debated DeFalco on Batista's MMA fight and the validity of his win, that's got to be my favorite audio blog so far. Joining us today, I'm pleased to announce, because it's been a little while, is Blog Talk Radio producer Nikki Starr. Hi, Nikki Starr.
Hey, RVD, how you doing?
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. I have no clue what we're going to be talking about, but your guests have already started
you know,
calling
I'm not one to be very organized and plan too far ahead. That's
in
kind
the
of
town
always...
they were like, how come we don't have a set time and date? I was like, yeah, right.
Hey, but you got the info that I sent you, right? And you set it up on Blog Talk. That's why we're doing it?
Well, yeah, it's set up, but I don't know what info you sent me, so I'll figure it out.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's cool. How have you been?
It's set up with TBD. So.
Okay. That'll work,
right.
And then you can put it in. But I emailed you something and tweeted it.
I didn't get it.
What? I sent it to both your email addresses like before I went to bed.
I only have one.
Oh, which one? Should I get rid of the Fly Lady one or get rid of the other one?
Excuse me, the Fly Lady one is good.
Okay, I'll get rid of the other one.
Send it again.
Right,
yeah.
I'll resend it to you anyway. I think we might have done a discussion before about concussions. I think maybe we did. It's something that I thought would be cool to talk about. And also, coming in and out of the RVD Radio studio at the moment is the lovely SVD. Hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Nikki Star.
How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Doing fantastic.
Yeah, you were in the... Yeah, also, I'm going to go ahead and open up some phone lines right now and get right into it. someone else that we haven't, but don't go nowhere, Nikki. We're still talking
I
to you.
won't.
But also someone we haven't talked to in a long time that I get tweets every day about, wondering what happened, where is he, what's going on with Sabu, motherfucker. What up, Sabu?
Salam alaikum, man.
Salam alaikum. You're alive and well, right?
Yes, I feel very good. Thank you.
Okay, that's what I've been telling everybody, that you're doing good, and people are missing you. I get the tweets all the time, and everyone wants to know what your Twitter account is and your Facebook. And it's okay to tell everybody, if they're communicating with you on Facebook, it's a poser, right?
Well, not as about 4 or 5 days ago, I actually did get on Facebook. And, I actually did, but then
you did. So did you send a friend request to Sonia?
What's that?
Did you send a friend request to Sonia?
I might have.
Okay, because I told her that I said bullshit. That's not his. It's a fake, and I think
So I unfriended it because Rob said it was a fake. So friend me again, please.
Oh, okay, I will. Yeah. I was started about 4 or 5 days ago.
Okay, well, good for you.
Right
Yeah, that's when she got the friend request. Okay, I have an official Facebook. You know, it's the Real RVD. You can see all my official icons at robvandam.com. That's what it's for, to weed out the posers. But I hardly ever spend any time. I forget about Facebook, and I think the phone app that they have is kind of shitty. Like whenever I go to the phone app, first off, I'm reading like 80 friend requests, and I scroll through and see if I know anybody. And then after a while, I say, well, who gives a fuck? I don't know anyone else today. And then I look for the messages, and when I'm trying to read it, it keeps scrolling back to the top, and I just get frustrated and quit.
When was the last time you updated your app?
Yeah. I get frustrated and quit it faster than that.
Yeah, I figured. But anyway, I have somebody, Tony V, my PayPal, my eBay dude, I have him post outfits and shit that he eBays, but I got to tell him to not write shit in first person anymore, because I hate that. Sometimes I'll read it and it'll say like, hey, I found this in my closet, and it's like, dude, I didn't say that. Just have it general. If people think it's from me, that's good enough, but don't do first person. Just say, look what's in RVD's closet. But anyway, that's about all I use. I don't know. I need to use it more, because I know it's I went wrestle in Savannah Sunday and Macon, Georgia on Saturday. I just got back Monday from that, and I saw a bunch of old friends, because I lived in Savannah. In fact, I met my wife there, didn't I, baby?
Yes, you did.
And so I had some friends there, including my airbrush artist, Joe Holland, and we all got together, and that was cool. I can't remember. Yeah, can't remember why I brought that up. Somehow that related to whatever the fuck we were talking about. But yeah, but it does relate to opening up the phone line to one of my friends that I saw that I haven't seen in a while, that no one has seen in a while, but he's doing good also, and that's Mr. Scotty Riggs.
Wow.
What up, Scotty Riggs?
Sabu.
What's up, bro?
What is up, you two wildcats?
We're jamming, yo. We're jamming, dude.
You're jamming?
Doing these radio shows. People are expecting to hear from us, and so we're kind of doing it regularly. And I'm getting in the habit of doing it regularly, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but I want to tell Bruce Jingles, too. Bruce Jingles, motherfucker.
What's up, you motherfuckers?
Brucey, say hi to Scotty Riggs and Sabu and Nikki Starr and SVD.
Hi, motherfuckers. Hi, fatherfuckers.
All right, we got a house full right here, and Nikki was saying she doesn't know what we're talking about, so let me fill her in on this. But first, Nikki, last week when you weren't available, and Matt Denton stepped in for you because I did a show on the fly like this, like I always do. But
Yes.
I mentioned on there, and I wanted to tell you about this. I did a podcast for Jay Moore last week or the week before, the comedian, and he has a network, and he had asked me if I was interested in doing a show on his network. And from talking to him, and I have to still talk to him further, we've been missing each other the last couple of days, but it sounds pretty much like RVD Radio, like what I'm already doing, although I don't think they normally do phone calls, and I'm not that sure, but I know a lot of people are moving to the podcast, which RVD Radio gets put into a podcast anyway, so people can listen to it, but doing it on a much, much bigger platform, where there's sponsors involved and shit like that.
All right, we'll talk about it. There's no bigger platform than Blog Talk Radio, but that's fine. And how are you going to get guests if you don't have phone calls?
Well, that's what I have to talk to him about, because I did his, and the week before I did Joe McDonald, who also is on his network, and Joe actually came to my house with a little handheld recorder, and Jay actually had like the sound, like the big keyboard and all that, and had somebody doing so. I'm not, but if it's something about interviewing someone one-on-one with a handheld, I mean, I could do that with the TNA guys, pretty easy, like around their schedule, just like, hey, come sit in my car for a half hour or something. I don't know. And then, so yeah, we'll talk more about that. I know you know a lot more about that than I do, but I thought maybe it could be a good thing. I don't know.
Sure, it could be good. Send him the link to this, and he can just put it on the podcast, because I just hate that whole shit.
Oh, man, you know what?
Somebody for half an hour in your car, and then somebody for 10 minutes here, and then somebody for 10 minutes there.
Then you got to edit the show together if you do it that way, huh?
Yes. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, mine was like an hour. Both of my podcast interviews lasted like an hour. As you know, I don't give very short answers. I don't know how to do that.
No, that's true.
All right, well,
maybe you can do your single stuff there, but then if you have interviews, like when you have the guys call in here.
I don't know. There may be a way to do that, though. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you know what? Ask Matt.
You're killing me.
You're killing me.
Abu, is that your phone that's making me not be able to hear Nikki?
I don't know. If it is, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It could be mine.
I have no idea. Why does your phone drain energy? Is it a vacuum phone? I don't know. Anyway, anyway, whenever I have a bunch of callers on, it's people drown each other out, and that's the way I do it, because that's the way we roll.
Chaotic.
Chaotic clucking. So, Nikki Starr, what I wanted to talk about with Sabu and Scotty and Jingles and Godfather's going to be calling in too. I want to talk about concussions. I'm enrolled in this volunteer program. I've donated my brain and my spine after I die. I told them they can't take it first, but I wish they could look at the damage that's done first, because I'm very curious about it. I've had... to the best of my knowledge, they can't really look at your brain. They can do certain cognitive tests to see, like, if you've recovered after getting a blow to the head.
The MIR, and actually they can X-ray your brain and MIR your brain and see brain damage.
MRI, and we're going to have... Yeah, we're actually going to have Chris Nowinski on. He's not going to call till like the end of the hour because he's got a super busy day and he's squeezing us in. But he's the expert. He literally holds the brains in his hand and studies them, and he started the whole program. And because of him, he's one of my heroes, because he talk about turning a bad thing into a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, he got put out of wrestling because of concussion damage, and being the Harvard graduate genius that he is, he found a way to look into that, to expose a problem that nobody knew, and because of him and his persistency, the coaches in high schools and colleges everywhere and certain other sports are changing their ways, and they all are forced, like a mandated concussion training program. And I just think that's huge what he's done, the impact that he's had on society, and I think for the better. I'm old school like you, Sabu. I still go out there. When you and I wrestle, we still slam each other in the head with a chair. A lot of people don't do that anymore. They consider our ways archaic, and they want us to change, and they get upset when we do it. But I don't. I mean, I feel like I still feel like I'm a tough guy. I like to show how tough I am. Go ahead and crack me in the head. What do you think?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and as was mentioned to me before, not only have I been suffered many concussions, but so have, and Sabu and Scotty Riggs can both vouch for me here, so have many of my opponents.
Oh, yeah. I can at least count 2 broken noses in the span of a couple of years, starting off and finishing off, that you've caused me some head trauma. So it's all good for the business the way you look at it.
Well, that is the way that I look at it. I mean, obviously, I don't want anyone to get hurt or damaged. And I used to think it wasn't a matter of being tough or not tough. Like, he can't take a shot, he's a pussy. I no longer think it's just that, because I've seen some really tough guys, football players, boxers, whatever, that in the long run they end up, not being able to function properly anymore. It's sad. And it's because, apparently, according to these new studies, because of multiple concussions that led to long-term damage. And it's something, that it is scary to me to continue receiving those while I know this information. You know what I mean? It's kind of like on a much lesser scale. It's kind of like when we've been to funerals of a lot of our friends, and when we bury our brothers in front of their families, and we feel like we're still part of the problem because the family looks at the business that killed their loved ones, and we're all like sorry to see it happen, but then we go on doing the way that we do. And I don't feel like the business kills the boys. I mean, it's all personal choice when it comes to that, especially with the overdoses, but. There's definitely a bit of guilt that I feel every time I go to a funeral, especially if I, partied or hung out or even, worked with the guys. I mean, shit, like I said, I've contributed to giving a lot of concussions. I receive a lot of them, and it's part of the job. I don't think anything of it. I never did. When I got trained, by the way, when I first started, Sabu's in the ring with me in the backyard, and he knows I'm a kickboxer and stuff, but I'm trying to learn how to wrestle. And he's telling me, here's a move you should do. Jump off the second rope and do the back kick, which, by the way, I still do that move now. Springboard off the second rope, and I do this flying back kick. And I told Sabu, but I don't know how to control it. I don't know how to, not, really hurt you. He goes, well, just do your best. Try it. You should be able to control it, and then, if you hurt me, then, when we can try it again, just try to pull it back a little more. I said, all right. I went off the ropes. Bam! Fucking kicked it in the jaw. I don't know. I might have broke your jaw. I don't know.
One of the best ways of looking at it, Rob.
He was eating through a straw
for making
several weeks.
Test dummies.
What's that?
We're making ourselves great test dummies for future testing to help other people.
Right, and that's not necessarily the way that everybody teaches. You know what I mean? A lot of people teach safety first. Me, Sabu, under the guidance of the Sheik, got taught protect the business first. And by the way, that's the same back kick. By the way, that's the same back kick that I knocked Abyss's teeth out with. This is 23 years later, but and it wasn't. I didn't know it was even a hard kick. I didn't even feel it in my foot. It felt no different than the kick that I've done before, and that I've done, 100 times since I kicked Abyss. I do that kick like every night. And only that one time there was that freak thing. But Sabu, you've caught that kick in the jaw a lot when I was learning how to do it. And when we would get concussions, we didn't think anything of it.
Right.
Think of a boxer. You get hit, you get punched so hard that you get knocked down. You lose your balance because your brain is bouncing around in your skull, and you have 8 seconds. You get an 8 count to see if you're okay, and then get back in. Think about that in comparison to, the now mandated cognitive testing that you have to take to return to the game after you get put out with a concussion. Right. It's crazy to think that with boxing you still have an 8-second rule. Right?
Yeah.
Going back to the phone lines here because Godfather, appreciate you calling in. What's up, dude? Welcome to RVD Radio.
What's up, brother?
Godfather, motherfucker.
Godfather, motherfucker.
Why do I gotta be a motherfucker?
No, it's Godfather, motherfucker.
There
we go. I like that. I can be a motherfucker too, though.
Damn, Godfucker in the house.
Actually, we say that so much I forgot who is it? Samuel Jackson that you're imitating when you do that?
Yeah, Samuel Jackson.
Give Godfather legitimate Samuel Jackson saying Godfather.
Godfather, motherfucker. Hey, that was pretty good. It's only a short, that's attacking you from behind.
On these motherfucking things.
Oh, right on. What's the good word, Rob? What's happening, man?
All right, Godfather, appreciate you calling in. On the line with us right now, I got, besides my lovely wife, SVD. Say hi to Godfather, baby.
Hey, Godfather.
Yeah.
How are you lovely young lady, the best roller in the world?
Yeah.
Amen.
It's true.
It is. It's been a long
She rolls the best joint in the world by far that I've seen, the most professional joint.
I am right now holding a piece of her work in my hand right now. It's begging for some flame. It just hasn't got in between talking.
Oh,
but,
I need to light up too. Funny you should say that.
Hey, Rob, have you heard of some new strain called Girl Scout cookies?
Yeah, man, people keep talking about that. It was at the Kush Expo here in town last weekend and got everybody excited.
Dude, I actually tried San Francisco. I got a hold of some of it. I'm trying to hang on to some of it just for you to taste.
Awesome, dude. I appreciate that. Also, Godfather, on the line with us are also Sabu and Scotty Riggs and a good comedian friend of mine, Bruce Jingles, who sounds like Samuel Jackson, motherfucker.
That's right, motherfucker, man.
Everybody wants.
And Riggs is what's up, everybody?
What's up?
What is up, Godfather?
Yeah. All right. Hey, so Godfather, check this out, man. We have a subject that we're kicking around talking about. I have no problem admitting that I have gotten hundreds and hundreds of concussions, well over 500, and I still get them. Now with my schedule, it's not nearly like it used to be with ECW. It was like every night. I knew when Balls Mahoney was going to crack me in the head with the chair, I was gonna be loopy. And the symptoms. Someone asked me, how do you know when you have it? Well, it's the symptoms. Like, sometimes everything's in slow motion. Sometimes the sound is out. Sometimes, I almost always lose my balance. Just the other.
It's always an equilibrium thing. It's always equilibrium. You lose that first, man. It's just, it's not,
and
it's not a good feeling, but you know when you got it. You know when your marbles have been rocked. You know it.
Yeah, and because it usually only lasts, 6 to 10 seconds for me, but it's always very inconvenient. Sometimes it lasts longer. Sometimes later in the night, I feel a little foggy. Sometimes I'll see little stars, but I'm light sensitive. But when that happens, I realize that's a much bigger concussion than the one that only lasts like 10 seconds. As long as it's gone in a few seconds, I feel like, it's one of the smaller ones, but it's never convenient. My match that I had on pay-per-view that a lot of listeners probably saw on Bound for Glory, there was a moment in there where I caught Zima's cross body. He did like a 360 spin in the air, and when I caught him, my feet kicked out, and I slammed the back of my head into the mat. If you watch, you might even see me look right at Brian Hebner, the referee, and say, oh, shit, I need a minute. I whacked my head. Everything was spinning around, and I recovered in time before we had to stop the match or anything. But the first thought that went through my mind was, holy shit, I got no balance. Everything's spinning around. I need a minute. And it's never like it's never convenient. Sometimes you have to act because the guy's like running at you, and there you are standing there like without it. I've been in that situation. One time I whacked a vampire dude from New Breed ECW. I whacked him so hard because I just took a wild swing because I couldn't see him. I always felt like, like I hate being in that predicament. But some people say they don't get concussions like ever, and I know I have a more physical style. What about you, Godfather? Is that something that's been part of your job?
Mine's been, I've had a lot of shots to the head, mostly kicks or, like you said, going down wrong and hitting your head on the mat. I haven't had nowhere as many as you, but, your matches were a lot different than mine, but it's a scary stuff. People have no idea how many wrestlers have had concussions and how many. I mean, it's crazy, but it's it's part of the gig. But it's not a fun thing. I haven't had nowhere the amount that you've had, though.
Yeah. What about you, Step?
I have to agree. I have to disagree on me. When I get a concussion, it kind of feels good. I don't like being out of it. That's scary. but it's not painful. It feels good, kind of like I'm floating, and when I come back to, I don't really hurt unless I got a broken tooth or a black eye.
So does it feel normal?
It feels good.
Yeah, I remember one time in WWE, we were somewhere, I think it was in Vancouver actually, because I had the airport that day that I remember. But I wrestled Rene Dupree, and I ended up
Come untied?
yeah, it definitely came untied, and I ended up hitting him, giving him a shot to the head. I don't remember what it was, if it was a kick or what. But he was out on his feet, couldn't remember anything for several seconds, but he didn't actually go physically unconscious. But after the match, back in the dressing room, he was giddy. Like he actually got a buzz from it. He was all excited and laughing and giggly, and he was acting like he was like he'd smoked something. It was great.
Yeah.
maybe he had smoked something.
Maybe he did.
Well, Chris Nowinski is the expert, that could explain to us exactly what all's going on. And of course, I talk to him a lot. I'm on the celebrity board of his of the Sports Legacy Institute, but I'm not nearly as up to date on. I mean, everything's moving so fast. He's always like getting new important structures to add his regulations to them, and getting, when he first started talking about it. It was denied, and if anybody remembers when Chris Benoit died, anybody remember that he died?
Yeah, boy. You know when that happened, I was in Atlanta, and they were having some type of eulogy show for Vince, and I was going to come out as a godfather and put my little spin on it, and that's the day it happened. When I was right there with a few people when the word that came down that he'd left a note, and the person that he'd left a note to was telling Vince about it. Right, me, Undertaker, Vince, and somebody else was there, and I was right there when they said the note said, I don't remember what it said, but something like, I'm in the gym, somebody let the dogs out or something like that.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
I was right there when that was relayed to him.
Yeah.
Well, that was some wild shit. But that's all.
That's what the note said.
Well, it says, the way that I remember it, like he had texted Chavo Guerrero.
It was a text, actually. It was a text.
Chavo, I believe.
What? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
I think it was a text that said, the dogs are out, it's on the
It was a text.
Yeah, whatever.
It was something like that, but yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, and the media jumped all over steroids, and a lot of the general public, that's all they'll ever remember, and they think in their mind that steroids caused him to murder his family and then kill himself. And those of us that have been around steroids and know and have seen the effects, we're not buying that at all. But the media went all over steroids.
Of course.
It was Chris Nowinski that looked at Benoit's brain and said, look, it has the similar patterns to a 70-year-old man with Alzheimer's in the fact that the information highways are worn away. He says that's probably what caused it. And after further studying, he says he's positive that that's what happened. That was denied, by WWE for a long time. That there's no
damage caused from concussions or from drugs.
According to Nowinski, it's from the concussions. The repeated concussions lead to a deterioration of the brain, and it has to do with the protein synthesis. And even recently when I saw Chris, he was out here in L.A. and we went to speak at the college. I was part of that. Someone asked him, I think it was DeFalco, somebody asked him, they said, well, if Benoit had the brain of a 70-year-old, how could somebody like that, manage to, get around with the wrestling environment and, make it to their flights and travel from city to city and go to the gym? And he had an answer for it because he said that it was similar in some ways, but not similar in other ways. So it wasn't just like a 70-year-old's brain, but in his scientific language, he could explain how the damage does occur in a similar fashion, and it has to do with, I have fucking Mike Graham calling my phone now. Hold on, talk, baby.
Oh, my gosh. Concussions? Yeah, I've never had one, and when I was the one that asked him what the symptoms were, that's scary. It's really scary.
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, it's not so bad.
No, I mean, when you've never had one and you know that your husband goes out and gets concussions for a living and the result is his brain gets scrambled, it's not...
When a kick kicks you hard and it don't knock you out, that hurts more than a concussion.
You're making me feel so much better, Sabu.
No, but that's how I look at it, honest to God. You know, if I get a kick to the face or to the head medium hard, that hurts more than a kick that's full force that knocks me out, or at least dazes me. When I'm dazed, you know, I don't like not being in control, but it doesn't hurt. That's, you know, it's not pain. You know, it's just, you know, there could be pain if the guy retaliates, you know, keeps coming after you. You can't defend yourself.
Almost like you're saying, Sabu, where it's taboo. It's almost like you're saying it's a good feeling because it's a numb feeling. You don't really feel it.
Well,
the worst one,
it's a good feeling, but when I get knocked out, it doesn't hurt. You know, only when I get medium.
One of the worst ones I ever had was with
not to knock me out. Those hurt way more than concussion getting kicked hard.
Right.
You know, hard.
But concussions hurt in the long. You know, concussions don't hurt you right now, but say in 30 years you're not.
Well, yeah. I didn't know what they know now, but I you know, before about 10, 15 years ago, I had about a half a year where every time I sneezed, I would get dazed or I'd faint, and because I kept getting hit in the head over and over and over every week for about 25 weeks. I had probably a concussion that never went away. Just kept getting aggravated, I guess, every night. You know, and if I sneezed, I'd buckle. You know, but finally I got better. But I didn't care about concussions then. I was just saying, concussion, yeah, it'll go away. But now I know exactly what a concussion is. It's brain damage. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and 25 weeks of repeated brain damage.
When I do get a concussion, it's not like when I break a bone. A broken bone's way more painful than a concussion. You know, that's why I misinterpreted how serious concussions are. I go, yeah, I got knocked out, haha. Now if you get knocked out, you know, you realize you have brain damage, or you're going to have brain damage.
Yeah, seriously.
I didn't realize that before.
What was that about?
It was funny when I said they don't hurt, but they don't painfully, physically hurt, you know. I was just describing it. I was putting it over.
My phone said Mike Graham, and you know that's kind of synchronistic since I was just talking about him. That was his wife calling to tell me that November 2nd in Largo, Florida, at 2 p.m. they're going to be having a service, and it's going to be not gloomy, but like I think beach themed. They're trying to have a celebration of his life, but there'll be information at talkingwrestling.com, including information on anyone that wants to contribute. She said instead of buying flowers, they're erecting some kind of permanent structure for him at Indian Rocks Beach. So talkingwrestling.com, that was his radio show, and that's where you can go to get information. So help spread the word. I really wanted to ask his wife for details, but I didn't think it was appropriate. I heard through a third person that they were in Daytona for the bike week, and that they all had, a group of them, him, his wife, and another couple, I think, were leaving their hotel room or whatever. And, I mean, this is, like I said, I don't know for sure. I got to get more details, but I heard something to the effect of that he said that I forgot something, or I'll be right back, or I got to go back in for something, and went back in, and bang, which is, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, so, look, it impacted
Rob,
me because, yeah.
Rob, I'm sorry, who was this again?
Oh, this is Mike Graham. He was a...
okay.
Yeah,
he was
Godfather, you knew about that, right?
Yeah, he was
I
knew all about it. I didn't know all the details, but
I'm not sure on the details either. Anyway, yeah, so I think about, I've been knocked out one time, and that was like in a street fight situation when I was like, I don't know, 18 or something, and I was stupid. I used to go around, I was kind of a punk. I used to go around looking for people that wanted to fight. Not bully, but I'd have a tank top. I thought I was really big because I was 180 pounds, and And I was in Kalamazoo in a situation, where, this guy stepped outside, and then I never saw his brother, get me from behind, but I was out. And while I was out, they held my arms behind my back and were punching me and stuff, and so I had a swollen eye, busted lip, chipped tooth, and a concussion. And that's the only time I've been knocked out. And that one, I think it probably lasted a couple of days. And that's when I was thinking, I always consider that my first one, and I figure I probably have gotten them since then. But I was just talking with Sonia about doing this radio show, and I remember when I was a kid, it probably won't surprise you, but I used to like jumping downstairs, and the kid across the street, Eric Peterson, he had a much bigger staircase than I did, so it was a challenge to, if he could jump off the 4th step, I wanted to get off the 7th step or the 8th step. And anybody that knows that can relate, as a kid, when you try and jump down the stairs inside, you often don't account for that low ceiling.
Not very often.
Yeah, I remember so many
You're
times.
on a whole other level than me, brother. You're on a whole other level than me.
Yeah, so I probably started getting concussions probably in my adolescence, because I remember whack and ending up on my back on the steps. Like, whoa, what happened? Didn't even know what the fuck put me down there. Yeah. So, there's the thought of long-term damage from concussions. It concerns me. I don't think I have any conditions right now that any lasting. Most of my friends, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of my friends say they do. A lot of my friends say that they know every day that, whether they get foggy or they're light sensitive or they lose their train of thought or headaches or whatever, a lot of my friends in the business or in the MMA business, they say that they do feel the effects every day and that they know that they have damage from that. I don't think that I do at this point.
Does it bother you, brother? Does it worry you?
It does, because I don't want to, especially if I forget what I'm talking about or something, then I sometimes start to go oh no, is it happening? I do have a little bit of that kicks in. It does, because I got a lot of shit that I want to do, and I don't want to get amnesia before I write the whole fucking autobiography.
Right.
Oh shit.
I have a question. Now, I'm not a stranger to concussion because I was in the hospital for a month with a head injury 9 years ago, and I think I suffered from some long-term effects from it. As far as you guys with the concussions, and not just because of weed smoke, do you have some short-term memory loss?
I personally don't.
I've got short-term memory loss smoking or not smoking, so I don't use that as an excuse.
Okay. Right.
I could stop smoking. I don't know if I would. I could stop smoking for a year, and I'd still it wouldn't matter. I've been forgetting shit all my life.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't blame
nothing on weed. I don't blame anything bad on weed.
Well, I don't smoke as much
Neither
as you
do
guys
I.
do at all. I know my short-term memory is really the shit. My long-term memory is okay. I don't know why, because I guess maybe those are good memories, but just the short-term stuff, with this interview, probably I'll forget some of it as soon as I get up off the phone.
What is that? Sandman?
Riggs.
Oh, okay, Rick. Okay, yeah. You guys had too many times.
Talk about short-term memory.
Voice right now. I got a cold.
Yeah.
About you, Sabu.
Well, I did an interview for this brain donation program just last week, and the first question they say I'm going to give you 15 words, and it's just random words. You tell me go after you've heard each one. And I'm going to ask you to repeat as many as you can. And, of course, don't write them down. You try and be in a room where you're not distracted. That was hard as fuck because he's like, ready? Go. And he's like, dog, go. Car, go. sun, go. Purple, go. They were so random. And then he goes, okay, now give them back to me as many as you can. I think I got like 4 or 5, and then I just blanked. And I was like, oh, my God. I started making up shit. I think there was a platypus in there. Did you say platypus? It was really hard. And then there was numbers. You got to recognize the pattern between numbers. Started out easy and then went to impossible. Like, what the hell could these numbers possibly have in common? But it's something that when you're on the donation program, you got to update this like once a year. And, it's part of the study. If someone can learn, from my brain and I'm not using it anymore, why not? But I really hope that they'll put it in, like, formaldehyde or something and keep it and attach it to a robot later on, like in Futurama.
That'd be cool, huh?
You got brain damage.
Or there's a supervillain that's just like that, too. I forget. I think it's a DC supervillain that does the same thing, too. I can't think
Brainiac.
of it. No, not Brainiac. He's not Brainiac.
Whatever. You got short-term memory. You already said that.
There you go.
So like in ECW, I'm sorry, in TNA, I remember they passed a rule. I heard somebody talking about like you were no longer allowed to do headshots to the head. At least I think maybe I heard it was with WWE, and then I think I heard eventually TNA passed it. But that was before Sabu and I had our match that we had at Hardcore Justice, and we're throwing the chair across the ring, bam, smacking it with our head, and nobody said anything, and I didn't know if that was some of the boys said, oh, I guess because that was a tribute to ECW, I guess it was okay. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna keep being me until. I just do what works for me. I'm not trying to influence anybody else or whatever, but I've never had anybody say anything. But also, I can take that shit. But Balls Mahoney, when he would crack you with he prided himself on hitting harder than anybody else, and the chair was going to fold around your head, and you just prayed that you would get the middle of the chair and not the rim, because the rim would split you open for sure.
Yeah.
And he'd come with that chair and it'd be like, wham, and boom, he'd go down. A lot of times it feels like you're sleeping, and I think I know what Sabu means when he says it feels good. Sometimes, wham, I'm laying on the mat, and I look over, and it feels like I just woke up. You got that tingling feeling like, oh, I'm really comfortable. And you're like, dude, what the fuck is there a bleacher full of people screaming at me for? But the sound's out, and then the sound comes in, and it's like, whoa. Yeah, I don't look forward to that anymore because of all the talk of brain damage and because concern over what could happen in the future if my brain was fucked up. But I used to look at that with pride because I wanted everyone in the crowd to know they wouldn't survive what I go through in a match to entertain them. They paid to see me. Nobody during my matches in ECW were ever saying, do you guys ever really hit each other? Because that's what ECW was about. We'd beat the shit out of each other, and that was one way that the result was concussional, if that's a real word.
Concussional?
Yeah.
We all know what it means.
But in the business, it's supposed to look like concussion, but not cause concussion. If it caused concussion, then you shouldn't probably do it that much,
Well, yeah, and there's so much going on, that you don't have control over with moving bodies. But a couple times I remember knocking you out, Sabu, for our respect match. You were the loser. It was the second big TV match when I came into ECW. It's why I used that song by Pantera, Walk, because it said respect, and we had this respect match. Because I didn't shake your hand, so we had a match where the loser had to shake the winner's hand. And I gave you that fucking brain buster, which I didn't know how to do. It was your idea or somebody's idea to start using a brain buster, and I killed everybody with it. And boom, you went out, and I tried to pick your leg up and for the pin, to curl your leg up, and I couldn't get it. You were like stiff as a board. I couldn't bend your leg. And then afterwards, like...
Hello? Hello?
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Hello?
Did we lose everybody?
I'm still here.
Uh-oh. I'm still here.
We lost Rob.
I think we lost Rob.
We're still on the air, I think.
Hey, so how's everybody doing, man?
He's not. We lost him. He'll call back. We still have 10 more minutes, but
Hey, we can run our own show now.
Yeah. We took over the airwaves. This is a hostile takeover. Fuck it.
It's all right. It's a hostile. I didn't do it.
This is Bruce Singles Radio, damn it. We kicked Rob off because of his head injury. No, just kidding.
He been terminated himself.
No, I know. How did we lose? How do we lose Rob, Nikki?
He'll come back. Keep talking.
My phone died. Oh.
There he is.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that was crazy.
We lose the moderator.
And also we lost Godfather. I see he dropped out. I'm gonna try and text him, let him know. But Nikki, if you would give Mr. Nowinski a call and put him on. I wanted to talk about. I remember knocking Sabu out, and then you wouldn't come back out. You're supposed to say you respect me. You're like, he didn't fucking beat me. It's bullshit. to Paul in the back. Yeah, I remember when I knocked One Man Gang out, I kicked him in the head, and he was out on his feet, and when he fell, it collapsed, and it fucking broke his tibia under his leg. I always felt really bad about that. And also, I remember knocking Matt Stryker out on TV with a kick in the corner, and he was wobbling and looked at me and went, blah, 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 and I had to smack I had to smack his face around a few times and bring him around and then kick him and knock him back down again. And when we knocked Jungle Jim Steele out in Japan, we played tug of war with his body.
Yeah.
And he shit himself.
Oh yeah.
So are you having concussion memories now? Or concussion
these are knockouts I remember happening during matches.
Jungle Jim Steele, me and Rob double kicked him on accidentally hard, and he got knocked out, and he was snoring in the ring and shit himself. Yeah, no shit. I thought he died.
So you really knocked the shit out of him?
Oh yeah, it was a double kick out of the corner. We both did to him on each side of his head, and one of us got him harder than the other, and he was out like a light, snoring in the ring.
Snoring and shitting.
And he stayed out for the longest time, and even though he was a friend, I didn't know if he was going to be pissed or not, so I didn't want to take my boots off just in case, he was going to come at me or anything. I was waiting, and it took 15 minutes, kept saying, damn, he's still out? But he was, he's not he didn't have any hard feelings. And also, we learned on later in an incident between him and Gary Albright, he said, I'm not a fighter. So...
So we knocked him out again.
Yeah. All right, Nikki, did you get Nowinski's telephone number so you can try and call him and patch him in?
I did.
Yes.
I don't think I ever met Nowinski before.
Hold on a second.
I know who he is.
Hold on.
Okay.
I know who he is. I don't think I ever met him.
Oh, okay. Super nice dude.
Yeah, I know he's doing the study on football players and wrestlers and anybody who donate their brain from sports. He's going to study on that. I know that, And but I know there's a way they could tell if you have brain damage before you're dead too. But they could probably definitely see more of the extent of the brain damage after you're dead when they cut it open.
Well, here's my question to you guys: do you think football players or wrestlers suffer the greater headed overall?
Yeah, but be crippled when you're old as a wrestler.
I'm sorry?
Hello?
Hi, Chris Nowinski.
Yeah, I think other wrestlers have more brain damage.
Hey, thanks for making time for us. I got Sabu and Scotty Riggs and Nikki Starr and Bruce Jingles. Hey, everybody. Hey, Chris, is there a way to Sabu says there's a way you can look at the brain with an MRI and check it for damage while people are still alive now. What's the deal with that?
Hey, Rob, yeah, we're working on that. We can't yet identify chronic traumatic encephalopathy off of an MRI, but we're starting to learn a lot more about the areas of the brain that do atrophy, and so you can get, we'll soon know a criteria through which to do it for older people, but not for younger people when it begins because your brain doesn't shrink yet.
Okay.
I thought you could X-ray or MRI your brain and see if there's any brain damage. I thought you could do that. No.
Pardon?
Oh, Sabu was saying he thought that you could that you were able to see the damage now. And,
well, you can sometimes see acute brain damage if it's significant, and then you could see you have hyperintensities, and you can see sometimes you can see some diffuse axonal injury, but that's on the acute injury, and that usually means you have more severe injury than a concussion. But then in the long term, you can't identify when you get the disease like that Chris Benoit had, where you have you start sliding towards dementia.
And Chris, can you explain real quick? I heard you answer this question before, but if Chris Benoit had the brain of a 70-some-year-old man, how could he get on flights and operate with the crazy traveling schedule and all that? And you had said how it's similar in some ways, but not in other ways. How's that go?
Right. So it was a poor analogy that doctor used to say the brain of an 85-year-old man with Alzheimer's. What he had was an abnormal protein that's a signature of Alzheimer's disease, but is also the hallmark of chronic traumatic encephalopathy called tau. And with Alzheimer's, when you're old and you have it, it dramatically affects your ability to function because of where in the brain it is. With CTE, he did have the same the same type of protein that was showing that his brain was falling apart, but it was in different areas, and it was still earlier than it would be in an advanced Alzheimer's patient. So at the level he had a lot of this abnormal protein, but it was affecting his frontal lobes, and it was starting to get to his hippocampus and his amygdala that affects emotional control and a little bit of short-term memory. But it wasn't enough damage to make him non-functional. And you have no doubt that this is what caused him to go out the way that he did, right? Well, I knew him for 5 years, and how well respected he was. Sure. And I also know that a lot of the cases that we have of this disease, these athletes actually have tried to kill their family. So the disease does make you incredibly more violent. Whether or not steroids made him more violent than these other guys, and that's why he was successful in pulling this off, rather than some of them who just attempted to kill their family members. Right. But without the disease, I don't think there's any way this would happen. Right. Okay. Right. And can you explain why we get the symptoms that we do? Sabu was saying, when he gets hit in the head, sometimes he thinks it feels good. It's I don't know if that's an endorphin or not. I've often felt extra comfortable, I just woke up with some clean blankets right out of the dryer that smell good. It's other times, just like I was telling you last night, I had one on the pay-per-view where everything was spinning around. I had no equilibrium, and sometimes it's sound distortion, slow motion. Is there is there a way to make us understand how that's happening from the brain being bashed against the skull? Sure. No, it is kind of I can think of two ways where that will occur. One could be you damage the part of the brain that temporarily that controls mood, and that way it controls you into feeling better rather than worse. And then a second way would be, you're right, there would be with trauma of any type, you can have an adrenaline and endorphin rush. So, it's a kind of a natural painkiller. So, especially if the head trauma came with body trauma as well, you might kind of get that rush. Right. Oh, right on. That's awesome. Scotty Riggs, you got any questions for Nowinski?
Just how does it affect maybe your short-term memory instead of your long-term? Because there's sometimes where my long-term doesn't seem to be affected. I might get off this phone call in about 10 minutes and not even remember parts of it. Right.
That's kind of par for the course. What your long-term memories are kind of stored throughout your brain in a lot of different places. Your short-term, what they call episodic memory, to remember things happening. You're required to have a functional hippocampus for that. And the hippocampus is one of the places that chronic traumatic encephalopathy and Alzheimer's affects. And if it does hurt your hippocampus, you simply struggle to create those new memories. They don't become encoded in your brain. And so it does affect short-term memory, but not really as much long-term memory. Hey, Nick, are we going to lose Chris in 60 seconds? Rob, I got to get back to my board meeting. Okay, where can people find out information on especially wrestlers that want to join the program to donate their brain and spine? Yeah, thanks, Rob. Yeah, it's our website, sportslegacy.org. Sportslegacy.org. You can find ways to sign up for research programs to help us find treatment for this. And you can find ways to educate yourself. And I'd recommend taking a look.
Awesome. Well, Chris, you're my hero. You're doing a great thing, and I love you in a gay way.
Thanks, buddy. It's great to talk to you. Please, Edward. Take care.
Same here.
I think we were going to lose him because, it drops the calls at boom, and just cut him off anyway. Well, how do I know? He was hanging up. I just know. Anyway, when it goes past 60 minutes, we lose that, and no one else can call in and shit. So everything else goes on to the archive, which is what most people listen to anyway. So, Sabu, I was going to see if you had questions, but do you understand what he's saying now about the minimal amount that you can learn from our brain at the current stage, while we're still alive?
Yeah, well, I'll talk to you later about that, but yeah, I know that, I had my brain scan. I don't like bragging about it, but they said that I have significant brain damage. I don't feel like I do, especially now that I'm off drugs. My memory I feel sharper than an attack right now.
I still don't like talking in public, but my memory has come back. It's not foggy. Maybe I never lost it anyways, but I was always foggy, but now I'm not foggy no more. Yeah, no, you used to tell me that you felt, like you probably had damage because you're foggy and stuff like that. You're one of the guys, that. But that's great that you don't feel it. And I don't know. I know that when Kush dropped his little dog, he's got that little 1.5-pound terrier, Abu. When he dropped that dog one time and it smacked its head on the cement, he had to take it to the vet, and then they said take it immediately to this hospital, and they said he might die, and he was all upset. And what I found out was that they could see was that the brain was swollen, and I said, well, they're not going to know until the swelling goes down, how he's going to be. And they said, well, that's true. And I said, what's the difference between what he's got going on now and a concussion? They said, well, actually, it is a concussion. A concussion is brain swelling. And I told him, I said, dude, relax. When the swelling goes down, there's a real good chance he's going to be fine, because they were really making it sound like the opposite was likely, and the dog is fine now. But obviously, Chris Linsky knows what the fuck he's talking about. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And he's gotten a lot of answers for us for a lot of questions. So one of my projects, I hope to talk to him in more detail about what happened with Chris Benoit and with other wrestlers, and that's a project to talk about later. But yeah, he's the real deal. And he didn't have much time because he had all kinds of shit going on today, but I wanted to ask him about Mike Graham and ask him, if he's because he contacts the family. I know, with Mike Awesome, he was trying to get Mike Awesome's brain, and we were trying to find out how to get his wife to sign it over because he wasn't part of the voluntary program, So feel comfortable that Chris will go after your brain if you die, Sabu. How's that make you feel?
What's up with it?
Yeah, especially you're Scotty, now that we know you're fucked up.
Yeah, for real. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and donate it now. Find out.
Yeah, no, a lot of my friends say that, and it's so I'm really on the lookout, trying to look for symptoms all the time, and Sonia is too, I know, because she's really concerned about it, but so she likes to hear it. She likes me to report when I do get a concussion, which isn't that often now.
Yeah, right.
But it's probably less than twice a month on an average now, probably. And it used to be like every night.
Do you remember Tracy Smothers used to say to us just about every week, he'd say, I had 15 concussions. I got 15 tonight. But he said that for 5 years. He was stuck on 15 concussions, and tonight was going to be another one, he said.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, a lot of the guys, you can tell that they're punch drunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, are you sure you're not doing drugs? You're not on drugs right now? And, huh? What do you mean, man? What's your deal?
I thought maybe people thought I was punch drunk when I was, doing the bad stuff, but not anymore. Everybody says my voice is clear and all that, but it doesn't feel clear to me. But when I heard myself on your radio show on the archive thing, I wasn't so embarrassed with my voice so much.
Was that listening to the audio blog of DeFalco telling us how Batista should be embarrassed of his humiliating appearance on MMA?
Exactly. He was an expert critic.
He's so ignorant.
Yeah. But
he goes, what do you mean he won? Well, we mean he won, motherfucker. Yeah. It's pretty hard to take.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, Scotty Riggs, it was awesome seeing you in Savannah, Georgia. Have you got anything to plug? Website, Twitter? What's your Twitter?
Just my Twitter, I guess. Real Scotty Riggs. Just keep up on that. You know, we always joke around with our sometimes falling feels like flying for a little while. Got me hooked on Twitter. Sending that text to you. It's how you got me hooked on Twitter.
Yeah, but I don't get
you remember that.
I've seen that. I've seen you text that to me a few times, but I don't really know what it means. First, I thought it was just something that. Bless you, baby.
It was a song. It was a verse of a song that Jeff Bridges sang in this country music movie that he did.
Oh.
And it just sounds like a good wrestling thing. Sometimes falling feels like flying for a little while.
And you love that. You love that.
Oh, yeah. Just tickles me.
Well, the country song reminds me when I was in Savannah on Sunday, this dude came up to me in the back when I was hanging out in my car, and he's like, do you remember me? You know, he's with the fans, and I looked at him like, what's your name? He told me that I used to work at a bar called Cavalier, and that I threw him out one night. I'm like, dude, are you sure?
I remember you telling me that story, yeah. I remember somebody talking about Cavaliers.
Actually, later on, talking to Big Al, I did remember the place, but I don't know if I ever worked there. I guess I might have done a night or two, who knows, but whatever. But yeah, it's seeing Big Al.
Being really badass there.
He kills people. That's always fun. Some concussions. Well, dude, well, Sabu, now that you opened the Facebook, you want to plug that?
What's that again? I didn't hear you.
Now that you joined Facebook, do you want to tell people where they can go to find you on Facebook?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's, my name is Sabu. That's it, I think, right?
Sabu?
Sabu. And it'll be me holding the...
Good, yeah, say it twice.
Yeah, Sabu twice.
Okay, cool. Well, then we'll check that out. And Bruce Jingles is the... What?
But also I'm wrestling in Saginaw, Michigan Sunday night.
Oh, okay. Is there any website or any phone number or anything that you know of?
Contact me on Facebook and I'll give you more information. I don't even know what letters they are. There's 3 letters, though, like WW something. The big one.
Right on. Is it www dot something?
Something like that. It's like www, the big one.
Is it www.robvandam.com?
The big one.
Yeah, the big one. All right, cool. All right, cool. Bruce Jingles is the master of Facebook, so he will be on there to friend you right away if he isn't already. And Bruce,
I'm trying to
plug except for the fact that last radio show you plugged that I'd be at the comedy club and then you unbooked me for last night.
No, you know what happened? That show last night.
Wow, unbooked.
What happened?
No, so be glad you weren't booked.
Did the show not happen?
No, the show didn't happen at all, dude.
Well, at least, at least that way I know that nobody showed up looking for me, and he was disappointed. But what else?
Nobody showed up.
Oh, what you got coming up?
I'm in West Covina tonight in the banquet room at the West Covina Lanes, and then next week I'm at the Irvine Improv, and this Sunday I'm at the Pasadena Ice House at 9 o'clock. If you'd like to get on my guest list, hit me up on Facebook on comedianbrucejingles.com. And then next Thursday, I'm headlining the San Jose Improv.
You always got the most plugs, man. You keep busy.
I try to.
Yeah.
I can't wrestle, so I try to.
Especially when he throws out that headlining word.
Yeah.
I'm headlining.
I like it.
I will be live
I'm doing the longest bet.
TV tomorrow at 8 o'clock, TNA Impact. Apparently, from an image that I saw on the internet, it looks like I'll be defending the X Division title against the former champion.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Demon Ion. Dude, I really liked our match that we had, and I like wrestling with them, so I'm actually looking forward to that. It's not often I look forward to it, but cool. It's going to be good. And then I'm going to hang out Friday with the parents, stay an extra day, come back Saturday. That's Godfather. We lost him when my phone turned off. He powdered. I texted him to see if he has anything to plug, and I hadn't heard from him. So, but he is also on Twitter, so let me see. He's like Charles Wright. That's what. Let's see if I can find it while I'm talking to you in my scroll. But he just joined Twitter recently, and a bunch of people right away were asking if he's the real deal or not. And I guess that we have that certification thing, that blue check. Somehow celebrities get that. I don't know. TNA set it up. But Mr. Godfather, and I think he's there. He is, Charles Wright. At WWE Godfather. That's the real deal. So I'm plugging his Twitter for him. Follow him. He's on it all the time too. He got hooked on it right away. And cool. I guess that's it, man. Try not to bang your heads around and stuff too much. And we'll have another talk about concussions in a year and see if we can remember having this one.
Hey, Mom, remember about it? Say Mom and Dad said hello.
I will. And Sabu, you said the same, which I will. Nikki Starr, thanks for helping us out again. And have you ever had a concussion your whole life?
What?
I have you off hold, Nikki, if you know. Oh, she could be on another line, too, though. Are you with us, Nikki?
I'm here. I was muted.
Okay. You ever had a concussion your whole life?
I've had a concussion. Yes, I was in a really bad motorcycle accident. And I've had concussion. Yep. For a long time.
Everybody on this show has had a concussion?
Yep.
Oh, that sounds like a really bad one. So hopefully you don't. Do you have any remaining symptoms from it?
I don't really think I do.
Probably not.
Yeah, I was out for about 10 hours. So.
Yikes.
I had a lot of other injuries too besides that, but it was a bad concussion. I do remember that it took me about 6 months to stop having headaches.
Yikes. Yeah, that's
that was a little more than concussion. That was a coma.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like, I didn't know how long
they
you
said it was
out.
A concussion, so bad.
It's so funny, by the way, on TV how they take it. You know, like people don't know real life. Like if you watch a TV show, you know, like I need to go somewhere and I don't want Bruce to follow me, so I just say, hey Bruce, look over there. Bam! I just like hit an off button on his jaw and he drops and I'm like, sorry buddy, you're your own good. He'll just wake up later like from a nap. Oh, that son of a bitch, you left without me. That's not how we go. I mean, really, I broke your jaw. You fucking, you might fucking be stuttering the rest of the day. You might not know.
Right.
Shit. Jesus Christ.
I feel right. Yeah. Sonia,
I feel a lot of love on this show.
My wife is the only one out of all of us that she doesn't think that she's ever had a concussion.
Wow. Yay.
But I know that her brother hit her in the head with a shot.
Sonia.
Younger.
I haven't had a chance to say hello to Sonia yet, so tell Sonia Skype today.
Addie said, hey, baby. Hi. Yeah.
Hi.
Speaking of wives, my wife was the nicest person in the world, but she couldn't take a punch.
Bruce, how did you say you got one? I already forgot. Bruce, you got a microphone hit you in the head one night, you said?
What happened?
You said you had a microphone.
He is
still with
him.
I had some jerk that always calls me every time I'm doing a set.
Oh.
And then he knocked you out one night because you got lifted.
That guy.
Yeah, be careful, man. Be careful. That's what I do.
Tell me the story. Tell the story. Why did he knock you out?
He didn't knock me out.
No, he's joking because every time Bruce is on stage, if I'm in the house, I like to call him while he's on stage, so his phone's going off while he's trying to tell jokes. He was trying to bring that up, and but you haven't got a concussion or knocked out, or you did, Bruce?
Yeah, I did. I was in a coma. I was in a coma for a month, medically
For
induced coma
what?
for a month.
For what?
I got jumped.
And holy shit! Wait, you got jumped?
Oh, because of your comedy routine?
No, not at all. No.
Violent attack, put you in a coma for a month, dude?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
That is some shit.
Yeah, and seriously, it came. I was attacked. I was beaten up, and when I was on the ground, they hit me in the head with a shopping cart.
Oh,
wow, man, that's fucked up. I bet you never wore a skirt in that neighborhood again.
Yeah, no, dude. But that's another story for another time. Maybe we can make this a 2-part episode.
Yeah, well, shit, like I said, we'll talk about it again. I think we might have even done it before. And Godfather just hit me back, and he said it's all good. He's tied up right now. He said he's tied up with titties right now. And that's
good for him.
He manages cheetahs in Las Vegas. If you don't know, that's where you can go see Godfather live in person. But
are you
also
serious?
having him on RVD Radio and all of y'all too. So cool. Let's wrap this up then. Thanks to Chris Nowinski. He is a hero in my book. I think he's going to go down in history, at least in the medical world, as being a very significant, and appreciate that. So go visit, after I die, go visit my brain at the Brain Bank in Boston, Massachusetts, and hopefully it'll be on a cool looking robot in the not so near future, hopefully. And I'll be having Robot Wars with Sabu. Dude, that'd be sweet, like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah, I don't think my brain will last that long. But anyways, good luck tomorrow or whatever day you work again. And I got to go. I got a big show Sunday in Saginaw, and I got to save my energy. Bye.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thank you, Sabu. Thank you, Scotty Riggs. Thank you, Bruce Jingles. Thank you, Godfather. Thank you, Blog Talk Radio producer Nikki Starr. And it was an awesome show. Thank you, SVD. Say bye, baby.
Bye, baby.
Is my music hit? I don't even know if it'll hit it this time.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
Yeah, you're listening to the end of RVD.
Drop that down!